Hello students, this video is intended to show you the second step in the Cornell note-taking process, something we discussed in class, but I think it's worth repeating. So you can see at this point I've already outlined my notes with the date, the title. You will notice that I've added main idea underneath prediction, and I think it's important to include the main idea when you are doing notes and summarizing, because that is really what the teacher wants you to get out of the topic. So just to go through this really quick, the first thing you do is review the lesson titles and lesson subtitles and the pictures, so on and so forth, and then you write a prediction. And I have done that on a separate sheet of paper. Forgive my low-tech skills. And then you simply copy the main idea, which you can find on the text. So there's the main idea, and just to try and straighten everything out here, go. And then you read the section and you develop a word bank, and here you go. Again, there's the word bank, and then you simply write a summary using as many words from that word bank as you can. Repeat it for the next section, the 12 tribes. There's your word bank and the corresponding summary. So that I've been over before. What I want to show you is the next step. What you do is you go back to your previous notes. So here we go. Here's the notes on Chapter 5, Section 1.1. And at this point, you're going to review the notes, and you're going to highlight some important ideas, and you're going to include those important ideas over here. And I'll just give you a couple of examples. So I'm going to read it, and as I read it, I am going to kind of show you what I mean, what I intend for you to include in the sidebar. The Promised Land. The title refers to the promise or covenant God made to Abraham and his people. If Abraham listened to God's instruction, God first told Abraham to move his people to Canaan, a region on the western edge of the Mediterranean Sea. He did, and around 1800, the Hebrews lived in a semi-nomadic herding life in the area. So, one of the first things I'm going to do is highlight this word covenant, right? And over here, and for the sake of time, I have already done it. You're going to write covenant's a promise. You're just going to define the word. I'm also going to underline this word region, or highlight, excuse me. And this is a review, and a region is a geographic area with a defining characteristic. That might be climate or geography or vegetation. So we are in the high desert region, which means we're high in elevation and we don't get much annual rainfall. And I also have included a question, which is this. Has to do with semi-nomadic. And my question is, do semi-nomadic people have towns or villages? So there you go. There are three ideas that you can write in that sidebar. And moving on to the next section, around 1650 BC, Canaan experienced a drought, and the Jewish people migrated to Egypt. Eventually, the Pharaoh of Egypt enslaved the Hebrews, or Israelites, to work on his pyramids. They fled from slavery, led by Moses. Back to Canaan. According to the Bible, God spoke to Moses and gave him the 10 Commandments, which are some of the first written laws that we know of. So, some things that you might write with regard to this section is, at this point, we know a couple of important dates. So, I have written those dates down right here. 1800, migrated to Canaan. 1650, migrated to Egypt. 1250, migrated back to Canaan. This last date we learned in the next lesson. And then we have 10 commandments. And I would rewrite equals some written laws. And I think it's pretty important that we know that the Hebrews were enslaved in Egypt. So I kind of rewrote that idea right there. So that's what your sidebars should look like as you go back and review this section. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next installment of Cornell Notes. Have a nice evening.